In an era where technology can do almost everything for humans, many people believe that ancient ways of life will eventually disappear. But in some parts of the world, there are still communities proving the opposite. In the dry savannas of Tanzania, the Hadza still walk into nature every day with bows, arrows, experience, and ancestral knowledge. Meanwhile, in Ethiopia's Omo Valley, the Caro still turn their own bodies into living canvases where culture is preserved through vivid colors and symbolic patterns. One preserves tradition through the hunt. The other preserves tradition through the human body itself. Even in 2026, they continue to live in ways that make the modern world stop and reflect. The Hadza morning does not begin with rushing. It begins with preparation. For them, hunting is not only a skill, it is also a responsibility to the entire group. As the sun rises, the Hadza hunters move into the hot, dry savanna. They do not search through luck. They search through signs. A patch of grass recently pressed down. Freshly disturbed soil. A low burrow hidden behind bushes. Details that outsiders would easily walk past are critical clues for the Hadza. To them, the ground speaks. And then, the presence of the python changes the atmosphere instantly. Once they identify the right area, the group does not rush in. One man gathers dry grass and lights a fire around the entrance of the burrow. Smoke slowly spreads inside. This is how they force the python to reveal itself. For modern people, survival knowledge like this feels almost impossible to learn, because it does not come from books or devices, but from years of living alongside nature. But for the Hadza, it is not a special skill. It is an ordinary part of daily life, something they see, practice, and remember from a very young age. All attention focuses on the entrance. The moment the animal begins to move, the entire group shifts rhythm instantly. No shouting, no chaos, only smooth, effective coordination. They control the python with remarkable precision. The hunt is not won by strength. It is won by calmness, patience, and a deep understanding of nature. After capturing the python, the hunt enters another stage: processing and preservation. For the Hadza, no part of the prey is meaningless. The meat becomes food. The python skin is carefully kept to make belts, carrying pouches, daily tools, or for exchange when needed. This is not resourcefulness born from scarcity. It is their way of showing respect for what nature has given them. As the sun begins to set, the atmosphere in the Hadza camp changes noticeably. People gather not only to eat, but to turn the success of the hunt into shared joy. Songs rise. Dancing begins. Children watch. Adults share. The whole community moves in one rhythm. For the Hadza, singing and dancing do not need to wait for a major festival. Sometimes they sing because a hunting day has ended, because everyone is still together because the community has been fed. That joy does not belong to one person, it spreads through the entire group. In the modern world, people have more ways to connect than ever before, yet loneliness is often deeper than ever. But here, between firelight and song, the Hadza still preserves something very original, a real human connection. If the Hadzabe express tradition through hunting, the Caro carry tradition directly on their bodies. In the Omo Valley, the human body is not only for survival, it is also a place where identity is expressed. The Caro use white chalk, charcoal, and natural pigments to paint their faces, shoulders, chests, and arms. These patterns are not random. They reflect personality, beauty, and sometimes the social role of each person within the community. No large mirrors. No art studios. Only hands and imagination. And from that, they create a living culture. Their clothing also carries its own distinct character. Cloths are wrapped around the body, creating strong visual identity against the surrounding landscape. Not elaborate in the modern sense, but enough to leave a lasting impression. The Caro way of life is not completely isolated. Children use stilts to watch livestock from a distance, a practical adaptation to the open environment. They have shared social spaces, even open gathering areas where people meet and connect. Their main food source is sorghum, a crop well suited to the local climate. Caro life was once deeply connected to cattle herding, but because drought and livestock disease became increasingly severe, they were forced to shift toward agriculture. As a result, sorghum became their main source of survival. It is simple, practical, and capable of sustaining an entire community under harsh conditions. Even with these changes, the most remarkable element remains body art. It requires no complicated tools, no rare materials, only hands and imagination. They turn their own bodies into part of a living culture. And when the community gathers, the atmosphere changes just like among the Hadzabe. Bodies are painted, clothing is prepared, then the dancing begins. It is not just entertainment. It is how they connect, express identity, and preserve tradition. Sound, movement, and people merge together, becoming inseparable from life itself. Here, tradition does not belong to the past. It exists every single day on their own bodies. One walks into the savannah to track prey. The other uses the human body to tell cultural stories. One preserves identity through hunting, rituals, and sharing the results. The other preserves it through body paint, sorghum, stilts, and communal dances. Though different, both prove one thing: humans do not survive through tools alone. Humans also survive through values passed down across generations. In an age where everything changes too quickly, the Hadza and the Caro show that not every tradition must disappear to make room for modernity. Some communities still live slower than the rest of the world, yet they preserve things that are deeply meaningful: real skills, real connection, and a true sense of belonging. And perhaps the most thought-provoking part is not how different they are from us, but how, in the middle of rapid technological progress, they still protect the very things that many so-called modern societies have accidentally lost.